What's up, Snow Tracks viewers? Luke here, bringing you guys a little walk around video of the RIOT X, the 2021 RIOT X, and this is a revamped model, so to speak, for Arctic Cat this season. We brought you test rides on both the RIOT and the RIOT X last year. AJ and I did. I did the RIOT X, and last year I talked a lot about how I thought that sled was a great crossover. At the time, it had the cross-action rear skid frame with the same hybrid mountain front end that you see right here. It's this isn't their 36-inch wide front end. This is a 40-inch wide, but it uses the mountain arms, the mountain spindle, that sort of stuff. So mountain type front end, and the RIOT X is really meant to be that off-trail bias crossover. Now, with the cross-action skid, it rode pretty well in the back, and it wasn't terrible on the trail. It wasn't obviously as good as the RIOT with a trail front end, but it wasn't terrible. And anyway, I had a great time on that sled last year. This is the 2021 RIOT X, and the big change, really the only change for this season, is the addition of the Alpha skid in the rear. This is a 146-inch version of the Alpha, which is among the shortest Alphas they make. It's got a 2.6-inch paddle, powder claw paddle, track on the back, and I mean, it becomes a very interesting sled because the RIOT stays essentially the same, and it's still a great crossover. I mean, it is good off trail, it's good on trail. I thought the cross action skid worked really, really well. This RIOT X, the Alpha is definitely an off trail skid frame. There's no question about that. There's really no arguing that. It doesn't, in my opinion, work great on the trail. It doesn't ride excellent, though this one is valved quite soft, a lot softer than the mountain versions. And it doesn't really do the sled's handling any favors on trail. And I have to make that very clear. And I'm talking about on the trail. It's got a great shock package in there with those QS3s. So, with that said, and it's important to be specific, with that said, this sled has now become an absolute off-trail weapon. Out here, where we're filming this, there's tons and tons of snow in the trees, deep snow in the trees too. And I took it out on some steep stuff, some tight stuff. It worked great everywhere, it really did. And the crazy part about it, I think the interesting part about it, is that the Alpha is so light that the sled itself has a much lighter, more flickable feel to it, and it just feels great when you're out in the snow. Also, it being so short, it's really a lot of fun. I mean, it wants to wheelie, it wants to lift its nose everywhere, which is something Arctic Cats don't generally do that well. It really did take the RIOT X to a different level of off-trail performance. Now, with that said, it did come at the sacrifice of on-trail ride and handling. So, the question that has to be asked, and the question that I'm going to answer in the test ride, is whether or not that was a good choice. And, you know, I don't want to give away my test ride, but the reality is, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense because the regular RIOT is the crossover. It is the sled that is on and off trail. It does both. It's a surprisingly good off trail sled, as I said before. The RIOT X, it competes, in my opinion, with like an SKS. It's much more SKS-ish. I would say it's maybe not a free ride from Skidoo, maybe a backcountry X. I'm not sure, that's a hard one, but definitely this is SKS territory. Whereas the RIOT is definitely, you know, if you want to compare it to a Polaris, is a switchback assault, hands down, and it's a fantastic competitor for the switchback assault, for sure. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on the RIOT X this season, what's different, and you know, what you can expect to see next year on the snow. After spending a whole day on this thing, it really is an impressive snowmobile. That track is unreal for traction without being too much for this sled. The 800 C-Tech 2 SDI engine has got great power. I really like this engine when you're in the trees. It's got great power, it's controllable, it pulls hard when you need it to. Nothing bad to say about the engine from that respect. Obviously, this sled comes with a cool bumper. This tunnel bag here is not standard equipment. That's an addition they added for us at this event to pack all our gear with us. Same goes for the handlebar bag, as far as I know anyway. This sled's got an amazing brake. whether we've talked about that or not, I know I don't in the test ride, but this brake works fantastic. This is the best brake in the business in terms of the equipment, the master cylinder and the lever. Just fantastic. The gauge package works really, really well. It's easy to read. This is not a warm snowmobile by any stretch of the imagination. It was cold the day we took it out, and I froze to death while I was riding on the trail. In the trees though, not having a windshield at all was nice. We could roll it over when I got stuck. I never get stuck, you guys know that. But if you imagine that I did get stuck, haha, nothing to break off when you roll it over. You just flip it over and you're back rolling in no time. As I said before, QS3s all the way around, and QS3s couldn't be a better choice for this sled. You know, on the trail, set them to full soft so you get as good a ride as you possibly can, but then once you're in the trees, you can set them up stiffer and you know, get that better off-trail control in the trees, and set the rear up stiff so when you are climbing stuff, it doesn't wheelie as much. It just is, that shock package makes a lot of sense. This mountain seat on the RIOT doesn't make sense, and I wish it wasn't there. On the RIOT X, the mountain seat makes a ton of sense. This one's got the vertical handle pull as well. This year it doesn't have the telescoping handle pull like the last year's version did. It simply has a riser. And that's a smart move because the telescoping handle pull had a lot of play in it, and while it did work good, it really didn't give you a whole lot of confidence that it wasn't going to just fall off. This sled does come with a little goggle bag down here that uses engine heat to clean your goggles or dry your goggles, and it works amazing. Anyway, that's all I got to say. I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown, as I said, of this sled, let you know what I thought about it real quick. We're going to have a full test ride on the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of other walk around videos coming up here in the near future, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. If you haven't already, subscribed, and be awesome if you'd hit that like button and let us know that this was something you like. Comments are always appreciated. We do read them, and be nice, but we do appreciate all the comments, so feel free. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.